I want to say this with love, but also with volume of my whole chest. You don't need another certification. You're not stuck because you're unqualified. You're stuck because you're unclear.
Ever wonder what it really takes to build a business and a life that feels like yours? Welcome to That Big CEO Energy. I'm Callie, entrepreneur, operations whiz, and your go to for the real, raw, and unfiltered side of business and life. Because let's be honest, entrepreneurship isn't just about strategy and success, it's about figuring out who you are in the messy middle, trying new things, well, just because you can, and creating a life that actually fits you. From solo deep dives to candid convos with powerhouse business owners, we're talking all about the highs and the lows and the why did no one warn me about this moments that come while chasing big dreams. So let's get uncomfortable, embrace the chaos, and make it happen.
If you've been telling yourself, I just need this one more course, this one more title, this one more certification, and then I'll launch, then this episode is for you. Because what's actually keeping you from starting isn't a lack of knowledge. It's not your resume. It's not the letters behind your name. It's that you're actually afraid. You're afraid to be seen. You're afraid to be wrong. You're afraid to be rejected. And instead of facing the fear, you're hiding behind another enrollment link. But I want you to hear this clearly. Clarity creates confidence, not a PDF with your name on it. Let's unpack this because the need to collect certifications is deeper than most people think. It's not just about education, you guys. It's about legitimacy, it's about identity, and it's about worth. Sometimes, yes, you do need a certification in certain things. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if you have time built in this space and you know who you are, what you're capable of, it is not, it is absolutely not a certification issue. It's actually an issue with clarity. And so let's start with this. We have been severely conditioned to seek validation before action, right? Most of us were raised in systems, whether it be educational, religious, professional, that taught us to wait until someone else said we were ready, to wait until we had the gold star, to wait until we had a report card, a diploma, a degree, whatever it is. But in school, you don't get to move forward until someone else gives you a grade, right? You don't get to lead until you've followed all the steps. And so, what happens when we step into entrepreneurship? Your nervous system starts to panic. Like it literally starts to panic because suddenly you're the one giving the grade. You're the one giving permission. You're the one saying, hey, everybody, I'm qualified. And it feels terrifying. So, when you do that, you reach for something familiar. And what is the next familiar thing? It's another course, it's another credential, it's another checkbox. It's this illusion that we've put around ourselves of legitimacy. And it feels like you're doing something. But the problem is you're not actually moving forward. You're just nesting. That's what I call in business. You're nesting in business. You're getting ready, you're preparing, but it's preparation without the execution, right? Like it's not like nesting when you're pregnant. Like you're nesting for a good reason. A baby is coming. Your life is about to be turned upside down. But when you nest in this illusion of legitimacy, when you're in your business, nothing's coming. It's preparation without execution, which then becomes self-sabotage. So I also want to name like what's underneath all of this. What is underneath this preparation without execution that eventually becomes self-sabotage? Well, the first one is the one I talk about all the time, which is the fear of failure. If I mess up, at least I'll have a certification to fall back on, right? Like you truly believe that if you fail, your lack of credentials will be blamed. So you keep trying to buffer that risk by stacking qualifications. Fear of judgment. What if they don't take me seriously without a formal title or letters after my name? You imagine like your peers, your old coworkers, your families like side-eyeing you for stepping out to do something without proof that you belong here. Newsflash, what are they doing? What are they doing? They're not doing anything. They're not stepping out on faith of themselves, on faith that they can do this, on faith of God being able to call them to what they're supposed to be doing in life. As the famous Rachel Hollis says, somebody's opinion of you is none of your business. You don't have to worry if somebody else is going to take you seriously. You're taking yourself seriously. That's the only person, that and God, that is the only person that you need to worry about taking yourself seriously. But the fear of visibility, like, as long as I'm learning, I don't have to be seen yet. Because I'm like, I'm doing work, but I don't have to put myself out there yet. And this one's big because you hide behind learning so that you don't have to step out. And you tell yourself that it's noble, like it is the thing that I need to be doing right now. But the reality is it's actually avoidance. And here's the red flags that you're sort of like stuck in this credential chasing. You keep buying courses, but you don't finish them. You get the certificate, but you never like do the next thing. You never launch the offer. You know enough to help people, but you still feel this imposter syndrome of like, I don't know that though. Like I don't know that. This is a trap, you guys. Like, this is a trap that society has conditioned us with. This is a trap that we have conditioned ourselves with. And it's this cycle of constant consumption and delayed action. And the cost is your momentum and it's ultimately your bottom line. Like, so what do we really need here? The first thing we need is clarity. Like, you need to severely have a conversation with yourself that says, what problem am I actually trying to solve here? Who do I help? And what do they actually need? And what transformation am I, not everybody else on the internet, that I'm looking at their feed, what am I uniquely equipped to deliver? Right? Like, those are the big three that is so easy to find clarity. What is the problem? Who am I helping? And what is the transformation? Like, that's it. And you can do market research, but I caution that by saying do the market research from a 500-foot view. Not because you're going to capitalize on that and you're going to do the thing, not because you're going to take their course that they're selling to do the thing, but because you're trying to understand like what are common problems. But it still comes back to what is the problem that you're here to solve? You, yourself, like you, single person. What is the problem that you're here to solve? Who are you going to help and what do they actually need? Like, what can I serve from within to help them with? And sometimes it's about looking at yourself and like what you already struggle with, right? Like, I feel like most of business is like, do as I say, not as I do. But like, what transformation can you deliver to people? And most of the time, it's already with either current clients that you're serving or people that you have noticed that when you start to talk about the thing that really lights you on fire, that they say, oh my gosh, yes, when you do X, that yields Y for me. And so thank you. Like, thank you for doing that. Clarity isn't just about being the best. Like, it's not about, like, I need to know exactly what I'm doing all of the time so that I can show up on social and I can, be this proclaimed expert. It's about being specific. It's about narrowing your focus so that your energy actually has a target. You don't need to know everything. You just need to know what you know and who it helps. Let me say this again. Clarity creates confidence, not a certificate. You're not more qualified just because you passed another module. You're more qualified because you can articulate what value you bring. And then you just need practice. Like, this is where the confidence that I have learned in my business, this is where my confidence actually comes from. And it's not an arrogance. It's not an arrogant confidence. It's not about soaking in all the information. It's about implementing the things that feel really, really good. Like, yes, I receive that. I understand that. Now let's try it, right? So you offer your skills, even in a low stake environment, right? Like run a free workshop, take on a beta client, write a blog post, teach it live, like do all the messy things. And I've said this before and I'll say it again, but people don't care on social about your deliverable. People care about what you're doing to get to that point. Live in the messy middle. Show the messy middle. Like, do those things, but then ask for feedback. Like, that's where most of us, we stop because we do all the things, right? We run the workshop, we take on the beta client, we write a blog post, we teach the live, we go public with what it is that we're doing, but then when we get the beta client, for instance, we don't ask for feedback. When you don't have feedback, you don't have validation. When you don't have validation, you don't understand if what you're doing is actually working. If what you're doing is going to complement, again, what is it? The problem that you're trying to solve, who you're there to help, and did they actually need it? You have no idea. And you also don't know if they even received a transformation from what you were giving, right? Like, so we have to ask for feedback. But that's where the real learning happens is when we ask for the feedback. Because when you apply what you know in real time, you're no longer a student, you're actually the practitioner. And that shift changes everything. You need a framework, not a certificate. But here's a secret people don't buy your credentials, they buy your clarity, right? It goes back to when you're showing up on social media and you're showing up so authentically that people don't question who you are. They don't know what that credential means. They have no idea. They buy your process. They buy your method. They buy your framework. So you need to be able to define it. What's the journey that people walk through? What are the steps, the stages, the pillars? Like, what are the consistent problems that you solve? Not you and the other people that you've researched. What are the consistent problems that you solve and how? How do you solve them? Because this becomes your real asset. It becomes your signature, it becomes your authority, and it's not something that you have to be an expert to create. It's something that you have to build it as you go and refine it through practice and really shape it through experience. And then it becomes the thing that positions you, not your resume, not the cute little letters, not the I'm certified in, not the stamp that you put on your website, right? Like you don't need more letters behind your name. You need the evidence that you're capable, that your work matters, that it changes people, that it changes you. And you need to start by proving it. But first, you need to start by proving it to yourself. You need to start with beta clients, right? Like offer a test version of a service or a program or whatever it is, but let people in early in exchange for honest feedback and testimonials. Like you're not hurting anybody by doing that, but teach what you already know because I know you know a lot. You don't have to be 10 steps ahead. You just need to be one, you guys. Like, this is not rocket science. And most of the time, that's all people want. They just want someone who gets it and can help them get unstuck. So before you go out and like you build a full course, like build testimonials in that. Like give people a chance to just see you, give you a chance to be able to see you and what you're capable of. Because nothing builds confidence more than watching someone have a breakthrough because of you. Like, I have the most incredible clients on the face of the planet, and they build my confidence. I'm going to get teary. They built my confidence every day by saying, "Thank you so much for what you do. You make my life so much easier." I didn't go get a certification. I don't have an OBM certification. What I have is years that I have built in a career that have transferable skills. But deeper than that, I have a heart that yearns for women in business who just want to get it going, that just want freedom in themselves and not to be tied to someone else's desk. So while you're doing this work, and it's heavy work, you guys, there's a deeper shift that I think we need to practice. When we have a brain that says, you need to have permission first to start, what I want you to say to yourself is, I'm building mastery through the repeated actions that I'm doing. I'm building mastery through action. And if you feel yourself saying, I'm not legit enough yet, like, I'm week one in business, lady. You have no business getting on social media like you've been here for 10 years. And the reality is like most of us show up and create businesses because we have years of experience. It's in transferable skills, you guys. So when you and your little scarcity mindset is saying to you, I'm not legit enough yet, you actually need to come back with yourself and say, I'm qualified because I've done the work. It doesn't matter that it's been on a social media screen or not. Social media is an illusion. It is a 15-second reel that we paint to let people know that we are legit enough. But the problem is that you've already been qualified because you've done the work. And if you're saying to yourself, once I finish this course, I'll launch. I just need to get through this course. I just need to, collect my certification. You can launch while you learn. So if you need that today, I can launch while I learn. Sure can. You absolutely sure can. You're not behind. You're not like missing something. You're not underqualified. You're not under practice because you don't have a certification or you don't have like the knowledge from somebody else's course. You're not anything. You are literally here today, and it has been placed on your heart to do the thing because you are ready, because you know enough, because you can build mastery through action, because you've already done the freaking work, you guys. But you can also like share the journey and not have it perfect. Like, perfection is boring. Like, how many times do we show up to somebody's like Instagram and we're like, oh, it's pretty and it's curated, and then we move on? And then we find somebody that's completely unhinged and we're like, this I'm staying for. Right? Like, it's cold and it's unrelatable. It's just, it feels disingenuous when everything is perfectly curated. But when you show up in progress, like when you share what you're learning and when you invite people into your process, that's magnetic. People want to grow with you, not be talked down to, not be preached at. Like I'm preaching at you right now, right? Like they want to be part of like the messy, honest, curious version of your leadership. Like I have so many episodes that I'm like, you guys, I don't know what I'm doing. And it's because I don't know what I'm doing. None of us actually know what we're doing. None of us. Because there's no book of life. We're literally doing what God, universe, whatever you want to call it, we're doing what we are being called to do. We are all waking up in the next day. We are all waking up in the next day, not knowing what the day is going to bring, not knowing what we're doing. We have the tools and the skills that we have built up until this next 24 hours when we wake up. Like, we don't know what we're doing, you guys. But when we're honest, when we're messy, when we show up as like the curious version, that's where others also feel safe to grow too. So please hear this. You don't have to be the top expert in your field to be valuable, right? Like you don't have to be the next, I don't know, like the next, I don't know, pick a famous person. You don't have to be them. They're them. You don't have to be them. You don't have to be a top expert in whatever it is that like you're trying to thrive into. You just have to be honest. You have to be consistent and you have to be clear. Like that's it. That's it. That's it. So let me send you with this. And it's this. If you've been hiding, right, behind education instead of showing up as the expert you already are, and if you keep telling yourself you just need one more thing to be ready, first of all, you're going to catch these hands. No, I'm kidding. But let this be your wake up call. You're allowed to start right now. You're allowed to be good before you're perfect. And you definitely are allowed to show up before you're ready. But most importantly, you don't need a new certification to change someone's life. You just need the courage to show up right here, right now, exactly as you are. So show up.
Hey, friend. Thanks for hanging out with me today. If something in this episode clicked for you, I want you to shoot me a DM over on Instagram. The link is in the show notes. Let's chat about how you're making the messy middle work for you. If you loved what you heard, would you mind sharing this episode with a friend who needs to hear it too? And drop a quick review if you don't mind. It helps get the word out, and I appreciate it more than you know. Catch you in the next one.